we're just like animals, and we're the apex survivor. We're not the apex predator. We're not the apex nothing. We're the fucking crazy ones who get pushed in off a boat and say, what's over there? You know, like, so anything that we can do, we will do. So that's part of our survival. But also, we're animals. So we are just prone to remember the bad more than the good. And that's a common concept nowadays, which is good and bad because, you know, it shouldn't be taken for granted, but at least it's out there. But I think for me, that's what it is. It's harder to remember the good. It's harder to hold on to it and to really, like, that's why appreciation, literally, there's all these articles now. It rewires the brain, It's like, yeah, because it's wired one way. Yeah. Just from being born, from being a human, even in this safe, cushy, fucking nerfed society with our parents and everything. That's why literally, like what I'm talking about directly aligns with people who like coddle their children. If your kid has too much of an easy life, he's a dumbass. It's kind of what's happened to me. Well, I mean, it could have been worse, could have been better. I don't want to get into it, but like I keep saying, I had an easy life. It's not my parents' fault. They just loved me, and that was the way they loved me. I'm not blaming them, but if you can control a little difficulty and like keep them in that Jordan Peterson sweet spot where you're not too overwhelmed or too underwhelmed, and you're just learning all the time, then you're doing amazing, and it correlates. Yeah. Well, correlate's not the word, but it's the same mechanism. Yeah. It's the fact that we need challenge. It's just who we are. But there's a lot of range there. Challenge can be like a death or a dismemberment or a mental disorder.
That scale is endless.
Yeah. Well, there's crazy extremes we can go into. Like we talked about the Mathieu's fucking heroic backstory, you know.
Yeah, and surprising. I didn't know you never heard that story. So hearing it for the first time, I wouldn't have
forgot that. Yeah, that was intense.
Yeah, and coming back from that's like, in a way, it's some fucked up, weird, strange. Life is like this thing where it's like we dig ourselves holes, we climb out of it, then we dig a bigger hole, we climb out of it, as well as all the other things happening. But it's like sometimes the holes are dug for us and we fall into it, we have to climb out of it. And then sometimes things are just going good, you just dig your own hole, you're like, fuck, I'm going back under. It's this like weird, but that's the only way growth really happens. It's so strange. It's like nothing good comes from a good moment. Well, I mean, no, let's reiterate. Good moments are amazing. But let's say you're fucking riding high, your job's successful, everything's successful, but there's no real lessons there, just appreciation and gratitude. It's that when everything's stripped from you and then you realize, holy fuck, and then you come out of that's where it's like all these lessons were just formed. And that's what I'm noticing. It's like through misery and through challenges, like when Mikey spoke about with his colitis, like there's two avenues. You can go further down the rabbit hole of hate and sadness, or you can fucking overcome it. But now all that wisdom attained from that misery, overcoming that misery, is applied to his life, and now it's added on to the next stage, to the next hole that he has to overcome.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the holes get so deep eventually, you hit water or gold or wherever you want the analogy to go, and you get shot out like by a fucking fountain of awesomeness.
It's usually the bigger the fucking trauma, the bigger that hole is. If you pull yourself out of it, you're on such a high mountain. You know,
that's it. The deeper that hole, the more likely you're going to strike water. You're going to make a well by accident. Yeah. And it's like, I don't know, because maybe we need that at first. Most humans, maybe. I don't know. We could dissect it a little, but I think like it's this, like society in general just doesn't give us the challenge that we need. And that's why a lot of other podcasts that I really like, that you have talked about also, like they talk about how there's no like rites of passage anymore, and